got Brian here at Blue Water Marine again. Today we're working on a Minn Kota Powerdrive. This one's a 2017 and newer model. We're going to demonstrate on how to change the control board out. If your control board is bad, we'll go through the steps on how to properly change that and what to do and what not to do. The first step of all control board electronic parts on a trolling motor is make 1000% sure that your power is disconnected. Of course, fire hazard, spark hazard, and then if you was to get the board off and then put your new board on with the power still connected and it arcs, your new board that you paid for is no longer good. So when you buy a board from us, this is what you'll get. This is for a 24 volt. Of course, the 12 volt will be the same. You get your board straight from, this is OEM Minn Kota parts. It's all we carry. And in this part, you'll get your wire diagram. And you'll get your heat shrink kit. This is the heat shrink connections on this trolling motor. Especially you want to use this on salt water. Like to use it on all models, but saltwater, this is a must. So your control board is in the center here. So you've got to start with pulling your side plates. There's two screws on each side holding these side plates on. As you can see, this one has the wire harness through it, so it will not come off completely. So you'll kind of leg it to the side. I'm a little restricted because I have a keep this mounted on our bench. These power drives are not, they're one of the easier control boards to replace. It's not much to them. So this is your center housing. It's got your battery test meter and all that. As you can see, you've got to remove it. To remove it, there's two spots here that you'll squeeze in, and this will lift straight up. So this one does have the iPilot feature. So the steering motor connection is linked to it. If it didn't have the iPilot, it would be hooked to these two connections. So it's pretty much plug and play. If you've never did this before, I highly recommend taking a picture of these hots and grounds and connections. That way, when you're going back through it, you're not having to refer to the manual as much. But if you don't take a picture, look at the manual. It tells you where your hots and grounds and all that go. So the first step here, we're going to remove our hots and grounds from the board, reassuring that you have the power disconnected. So we've got that. As you can see, this is your connection for your foot pedal or your iPilot. So you'll have to take this off and then have to remove that. And that just snaps out like so. And I'll drop my piece here. We got all that removed. You want to unplug your battery meter hot and your battery meter ground. And then now you're ready to take these boards are secured over here by two Phillips. And you'll have to pull this wire up a little bit to slide that board out. Sometimes you gotta take it all the way out. So like that. So we're just doing this for demonstration, but if I totally remove this board, we've got this one zip tied here. You would cut it and then of course go with your new board. So for demonstration purposes, I'm not gonna cut it, we're gonna go back with it. So just reassembling, it's pretty much same thing. I like to pull this up, get it set, push this back down. I always like to secure my control board before I go hooking any connections up. Just make sure you get these screw holes aligned. You don't want to use a power tool until you know that you've got them not cross-threaded. There's no point of return when you cross-thread these. It's snug. And then we're going back with our ground here and our hot. And then ground, hot. But as I said, you do want to heat shrink these. We're not going to for demonstration purposes, but I'll show you what it'll look like. You will slide your heat shrink. It's fine. You'll slide your heat shrink over the connection. You'll plug it in, and then you will slide this heat shrink over the connection, and you can see the raised portion there. I always like to get it all set, and once I make sure everything's okay, I'll take my heat gun to all of them and heat shrink them. Like I said, this is just demonstration purposes only. I'd like to show you what that looks like. So we got that. Now that at this point, I like to go ahead and secure all this back through. Remember the big wire, you can see it's got big wire and then your 2 wire. One for your iPilot, one for your foot pedal or iPilot connection. These sometimes can be a little tricky, the wires. Same deal here, you always want to get it started. You got to watch your wires because this will pinch them if you're not set correctly. And then black to black for your battery meter. Like I said, these will be, we didn't disconnect them, but if you got your iPilot, you're gonna go back here. But remember, if you don't have iPilot, you're gonna connect these to that. So connect these back. And then you've got your battery to battery, it's your red connection here. And then we are ready to set the center cap back. You always want to make sure these wires are tucked and not in the pathway of being clipped or clamped by this center housing. Sometimes you gotta watch down here. That wire wants to get in the way. And then I always like to give a little snug pull and make sure I've locked it in. And then all we've got left to do is side plates and hook our iPilot back up. And if you don't have iPilot, it'll be hooking your foot control up. And then this one just slides back over. So in this instance, like I said, this one has iPilot. So we will hook the iPilot back up. So as you can see, the power drive's pretty simple. That's the complete board replacement. And at this point, this motor is ready to be powered back up. And then you shouldn't have to pair your remote back on the iPilot, but just in case, just remember to go through your pairing for your iPilot remote. But some symptoms you'll see with a bad board is no operation at all. Sometimes it will lose the steering aspect of the board, and the prop function will still work, but the steering won't. But yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe to us. It helps us tremendously, and we'll catch you on the next how-to. Thanks for watching.